Today is the day. That's so good. Tea with no ice today. Not even a little bit of ice. Tea with no ice. Yeah, baby, we changed. King on earth is what I'm talking about. King of this kingdom. King on earth. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, team? Today we got an interesting episodes for you guys. Let me fix my camera. What's up with this camera? Why do I have to fix it every fucking time? Whatever. Alright, we got an episode for you. I actually have no idea what we're going to talk about. I got banned yesterday by Zana. Have I? Let me see. Can I go see her profile? Yeah, I'm blocked. Absolutely blocked. This is hilarious, dude. Why would you block me? My tweet was amazing. I'll show you guys my tweet. My tweet was amazing. Where's my tweet? No, I said, y'all, this bitch said I analyzed her facial expressions. Lamau, she banned me. Imagine being called a stalker for making videos about someone prominent in political culture, especially when I was following MPP closely. I must be stalking the shit of Kuklinski and I'm camping out the Vanguard's van. Bro, I'm mad. I'm mad. My tweet about her being a beaver disappeared. I'm actually really mad. She looked like a beaver, so she said I said she's a cougar. I said, hell no, you're more like a... I apologized for that. And I said, you're more like a beaver, my bad. I would never call you a cougar on my show. She looks like a beaver, doesn't she? Big ass nose. Flappy tail. Let's check out my channel. 990 gave a sub yesterday to the Void Space. Man, 990 is the nicest person on earth. He is the nicest person on earth. That's crazy. This motherfucker has got money. What should we watch? What should we watch? I'm basically dying. What should we watch, guys? What should we watch? I'm basically dying. What should we watch, guys? Wait, Lex Friedman had Destiny on. We're gonna watch that. Tea with no sugar. I'm a fucking G. I'm a fucking G. I'm a fucking gangster. To you with no sugar. No more sugar in my life. Baby, if you're sweet, I'll take you, but no more sugar in my life.
At Chewy, you can
Too
save on all the
sweet for the
gifts
sugar,
you
baby.
need for the gifts that keep on giving.
King on earth, you can
Because
let me
while
drink
they have
sugar?
no idea
Fuck
what's
that shit.
going on here.
You have to believe that your people are going to be able to rise above and make the correct determinations when they hear these.
Alright, let's watch the bullshit.
World feel like to them.
Lex Friedman interviews Destiny. Let's just watch some of this bullshit and kind of break it down. He's gonna ask him about politics here.
From that, I truly try to listen. Now, I'm also learning, especially because Rogan and others have been giving me shit.
I don't know why Lex Friedman sounds like he just woke up from sleep every fucking interview.
Pushing back. It's good.
Can he not
sometimes
get a
to
good
say,
night's sleep?
from a place of care for the other human being, to say stop? What did you just say? I don't think that represents
Who made Lex Friedman the beacon of morality on YouTube?
really mean. Or maybe if it does at that time represents who they are, I could see a better world if they grow into a different direction and try to point that direction.
What's
out
up,
to me.
guys?
It's
What's
really
up, viewers? We got
complicated
4
dance
viewers. Say
between
hi,
letting
everybody.
somebody share their full story versus letting somebody like essentially, I guess, like proselytize your audience, and it's like, okay, hold on, let's take a minute here. But yeah, I used to be.
I hope Destiny talks about his cuck story, his cuckly origins.
4 or 5 years ago, it was attack, whatever you said. And now I'm leaning way more towards the like, okay, well, tell me how you feel about everything, and then we'll go from there. So a lot of people like my new approach. Some older fans will watch. and they'll
You
be like,
are
"Man, this guy just
joking.
rambled on."
Lex Friedman has autism and the motherfucker has a bigger show than I do? Yo, I'm actually mad.
You know, he said like 5 or 6 wrong things, and you're only going to call him out on 2 of them. And it's like, it's just different styles of conversation. But yeah,
Do you do a lot of research beforehand? Too.
Oh,
depending on the conversation, yeah.
These are the
if we're talking
secrets
about
of Destiny.
vaccines and stuff, yeah,
Destiny
that's a
debate
ton
skills.
of reading and stuff that I never thought I'd
he
do.
does research depending on the topic. He goes on Wikipedia every interview for every debate.
Going into it. If it's a more personal, like political philosophy conversation, there's not as much you can prepare for. Just it truly depends on the conversation.
How much are you actually listening to the other person?
I'm always listening.
I would say he's not listening at all. You know what I think Destiny does? I'll tell you, and I've seen this with Hunter Avalon. I've seen this with Hunter Avalon. You know what he does? I'll tell you exactly. Let me just turn this off. So he finds the research that he needs to put his point out. Then during the discussion, he will try to get you. He will try to funnel you into that research. So he will talk, for example, let's say you guys are talking about Ukraine and Russia, right? He'll find a way to turn this discussion about Mariupol because he has something about Mariupol. And in Mariupol, maybe there was a real, I don't know. Maybe he'll be like, oh, the people of Mariupol really didn't want to leave. And the coup was against the people. And then he'll show you the proof he has. But basically, he tries to funnel you into the information he already knows. He doesn't listen to you. He tries to funnel you into wherever he wants to go. That's how he does the discussions. If you ever see Hunter Avalon, that's exactly how he debates. Hunter Avalon will have 2 or 3 documents out, like 2 or 3 studies out. And he will try to bring every one of these studies into the discussion as if that's the only thing defining the discussion. And so that I bet you that's what how Destiny debates. If he's listening for you to try to bring you into his data point area. Like he's not listening so you can change his mind for him.
I think you have to listen because as soon as you stop listening, the quality of everything falls apart. The connection disappears. The quality of the conversation disappears. But my natural inclination is to just be way more aggressive than normal. So I have to constantly remind myself. I guess you would call it a meta conversation. Where you're like, okay, he's probably saying this because of that, or we'll let him go here.
I'm glad I was able to stream. I almost didn't stream.
Because my
preferred
preferred style of conversation is like, I'm going to talk, and the second I say something you disagree with, then let's iron it out, right? I think in like syllogisms. Like, okay, here's premise A. Good. Okay. Premise B. Okay. And then conclusion. And then as long as we're both deductively sound, we're not crazy, no psychosis, then we're going to agree on everything. Whereas other people most people think in stories, like narratives, there's a whole like narrative, and the individual facts don't matter as much because they'll pick and choose what they want. And it's really hard because everybody thinks narratives, so I have to function in that world. But it's
That's true. Everyone does think in narratives today. You tell them, what do you think about Andrew Tate? Ah, I hate the guy. Why do you hate him? I don't know. There's the narrative around him, and he's a bad guy. But why do you hate him specifically? Do you have a specific reason? Is there an actual? They'll either bring he's a misogynist, which is not real. I mean, I've been called a misogynist on Twitter for calling a girl a hippo. What's up, Jared? And then or they'll be like, I don't know. He's just a bad guy. You know what I mean? It's a narrative, and you can't argue against a narrative. It's almost like go download the program, finish the downloading, and come back to me.
Ready for me sometimes.
Well, I've seen.
Yeah, that's him. That's Destiny with
Lex. One
Lex.
of them I just recently last night watched is on systemic racism, and it's the first time.
I can't believe it. Tea without sugar. It's the same fucking thing, guys. Why are you even putting sugar in your drinks? You don't need sugar.
I've seen you completely lose
It's
your
the same
shit.
absolute thing.
Who was that against?
I'm not sure exactly, but you were just very frustrated. Sorry, not lose your shit, but you were frustrated constantly because
up, Jared?
of the thing. Let's lay out 1, 2, 3, and every time you try to lay it out, it would fall.
Honestly, Lex, if he just gave a little bit of, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with these white boys. If you guys just give a little bit of energy, you guys, like Hunter Avalon, if he would just take off his glasses, he would be so charismatic. But you guys like being the loser. You guys like, I don't know, these white people, they like looking like losers. Especially these guys with a lot of money and big TV shows or YouTube shows. They look like absolute losers. They speak like losers. They speak like geeks. And how am I supposed to respect Lex or Destiny? Both of them look uglier than each other. One looks like he's asleep. The other guy, I'm supposed to look up to these fuckers? I can't. I'm just going to sit here and laugh at them, you know? I swear to God, these white people, if you only fix your hair a little bit, like if Destiny just fixes his hair and shaves his beard before this interview, he would have looked like a gangster, you know, like me. Fucking fix your hair, put and cut, shave. Instead, he just wants to look like a geek. He loves looking like a geek. What's up with this? And then the other guy is asleep. You know, I get it. He has autism, but wake up.
I think
we got a show to
do
do.
with sort of. Can you use data to make an argument, or do you need to use a study that doesn't?
You have some bad takes with women. All my
like
takes
this
are bad
tension
with
between.
women.
I think this is a behavioral economist that you were talking to. And the point is, you do this kind of nice layout. That the whole point of behavioral economics, it says there's more to it than just the data. You have to give it context and like do the rich, rigorous interpretation in the context of the full human story. And then there was like a dance back and forth. Sometimes you use data, sometimes not, and you were getting really frustrated and shutting down. And so that felt like.
Anyway, so we're gonna jump from this part, but yeah, like two geeks talking on a geek show. I don't think we're gonna learn a lot today, but yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna react to a couple more parts. This is the politics and debates. Let's move on. Let's react to the war on Ukraine. At least I have a little bit more knowledge about this. So here.
The Ukraine topic. One question is, what role does U.S. play? In this war, could they have done something to avoid the war? Did they have a role to play?
Man, damn it, man! My mic got deleted. All right. Let's restart.
the Ukraine topic. One question is, what role does U.S. play in this war?
The ultimate role, according to Kyle Kalinske, Kyle, the AOC lover, he himself recognizes that if a U.S. would stop giving aid to Ukraine, Ukraine would fall and Russia would get whatever it wants. So he will say, oh, the U.S. should send more weaponry. To me, I think U.S. should send less because I don't want this war to keep going. But basically, it is the reason this war is still active.
Done something to avoid the war? Did they have a role to play in forcing Vladimir Putin's hand? Do they have a role to play in de-escalating the war towards a peace agreement? And the opposite, if it does escalate towards something like the use of a tactical nuclear weapon, are they to blame? Are we to blame?
Yes, the U.S. is to
I sent an
blame.
email a while ago with great words. There's a specific way to navigate a conversation
Even
where you
Kyle
can
Kalinske
kind of like
believes this.
contribute to a negative event, but you're not really the one responsible for it. Like the classic example is a woman goes out late at night, gets a little bit too drunk, and then something happens.
But stop going to analogies. Let's fucking discuss the Ukrainian war. Okay, the US didn't start the war. No, it actually did. It encroached with NATO onto Russia. So that's bullshit. That analogy is wrong. The woman wasn't walking alone. You were walking right next to her. You actually told her, let's go in the middle of the night with you dressed up, basically naked, and me with $1 million. Let's go walk in this dark alley. That's the real analogy that you're talking about. That's what the US did to Ukraine and Russia. The US dressed up his girlfriend in slutty clothes, put in $100,000 in his hand, and started walking in that dark alley, hoping that somebody would catch him. That's the better analogy about what happened with US and NATO and Russia. The girl was walking by herself. No, you forced her to go down the street. You forced yourself to get attacked by Russia, and then you called help. Please help me, help me.
And it's like, while there might have been steps she could have taken to mitigate the risk, it's not her fault of what happened because the responsibility rests on the agent making the choice, right? There's a...
All right, guys. I'm done with these fucking shit analogies of where women have no fault at all. No. If I am walking down the street, I assume no one is going to hurt me, but can I be entitled enough to say, oh, if anybody hurts me, they're the ones in the wrong? First of all, we already know whoever touches you is in the wrong, okay? Whoever touches you in the wrong way is in the wrong. When I get robbed from my $1 million while I'm walking down the street, I get it. He's wrong. But how can I be entitled enough to not think that it was stupid for me to walk down the street alone with $1 million? I should have enough recognition about the world and understanding of the universe that walking down the street with $1 million is going to be extremely risky and I might lose it all. Only a dumb fucking entitled dumbass loser would think that way. Oh, I shouldn't lose my $1 million. Nobody should attack me. Yeah, that's true. Nobody should steal. Nobody should cheat. Nobody should commit adultery. Nobody should attack each other. But it happens all the fucking time. We don't live in a civilized universe. Fuck. So the entitlement that, I'm allowed to walk down the street alone. And I get it. Yeah, the attacker is wrong. But I bear no fault. I could have maybe picked a better street. I could have stayed around with somebody. I could have never walked down the street in the first place that late at night. I don't know, man, but the entitlement is insane. What? No. Ukraine bears fault here. Ukraine refused to do any negotiations or talks. Refused to do that and was ordered by the US to stop negotiating with Russia at the beginning of this war. Or did we forget what Anthony Blinken told Zelensky?
Chooser at some point that is choosing to do wrong or evil. I don't believe in any of the arguments that say the United States has contributed to Russia's position on Ukraine or the actions that they've taken on Ukraine. There are several arguments that some people, some even political scholars are putting out there to say that the United States is to blame, but I find them completely unconvincing. I think that when you ask the question of like, what is the United States role or what has our role been? I think it's really important for us. I don't think we even agree as a country on what our role should be, which I think is a hard one because you've got this there's this growing populist movement in the United States. It might be the far left and the far right. And I think populists tend to have this kind of isolationist view of the world where the United States should just be our own thing. We shouldn't be telling anybody what to do. We shouldn't be the world police. And then kind of more in these like center left, center right positions. And then across a lot of Europe, you've got, well, okay, the United States is kind of like the big kid on the block. Like we're looking to them for guidance and leadership on situations like what's going on in Ukraine. So insofar as the original question is like what is like the United States responsibility, I think we have a responsibility to ensure the relative like freedom, prosperity, and stability across Europe. I think that defending Ukraine's sovereignty and right to their borders is a part of that. And I don't believe
Europeans
that prior
can
to
do
the
that for
invasion
themselves.
in 2022, I don't think the United States was contributing to Russia invading that country. I know there are arguments given that like the expansion of NATO, you know, has something that's been threatening to Russia, but the Baltics joined and Russia didn't do anything about it. The invasion to Crimea was very clearly a response to the revolution of 2014. The invasion on the borders is clearly a response to Ukraine winning that civil war in the southeast and the Donbass and Russia becoming more aggressive. I don't think that you can blame any of that on NATO expansion. There's no NATO countries that are threatening Russia or invading Russia.
Oh, okay.
Do you think there is a nuclear?
Then why was NATO not in any way negotiating with Russia in any way? If first of all, Putin himself used NATO as the only reason why he's going there. He's going there to demilitarize the region from NATO weaponry and to denazify the region as well. And then the third reason was to liberate Donetsk and Luhansk region from all the attacks that Ukraine does. So we've seen that Ukraine does attack Donetsk and Luhansk and bomb them to shreds. We've seen that NATO does fill up weaponry, and they send so much weaponry through America that they can't even track them. And so Russia was justified absolutely in every single way. He did not lie in any way. You guys refused to negotiate with him in the beginning. Then the outcomes changed for the war. Now he wants maybe even Kiev itself. But he just backed away from that. So you're never going to know what he wants now, especially because you don't negotiate with him. You're not at all talking to Putin. You're just sending more weaponry every month, every week. We send maybe a couple of billions extra into Ukraine. It's fucking crazy.
Threat? Do you think about this? Do you worry about this, that there is a threat of a tactical nuclear weapon being dropped?
I don't think there's a tactical nuclear weapon that could drop. I think the threat is the Zaporozhye nuclear plant just becoming another Chernobyl. But I don't think that anyone will drop a nuclear unless the U.S. is actually... the U.S. In its final moments, it probably will. But I think it's got a couple of years left.
Possibility
But yeah, there's a possibility. The only person that would drop that nuke is the U.S., to be honest.
exists either way, and I think the responsibility for that is on Russia. Because
No.
it just can't be
Oh, so when I drop the bomb, it's gonna be Russia's fault. I dropped the fucking nuclear bomb. This is insane, bro. And people actually watch the CIA agent.
the case that if you have nukes, you're allowed to invade countries and take their land. Because if anything, I think that down the road also increases the potential for nuclear problems in the future.
Why? Because Russia's gonna invade Europe? Are you fucking stupid? This guy actually believes Russia wants to invade Europe.
Right? Because at that
Why
point,
the fuck does Russia want to invade Europe? Russia has all the commodities. Russia has all the energy. Europe... Europe wants to invade Russia. Are you kidding me? Europe is dying to take over Russia. They don't know how. They have all the energy. They have all the wheat. They have all the sunflower oil. They have so much commodities. They have so much wood, coal, oil, energy, gas. They would love to take over Russia. They can't.
either every single country has to acquire their own nuclear weapons, because if you don't, Russia's going to mess with you, or every single country has to join NATO, and now what, we're back at ground zero, square one, where people are like, oh, well, look, all these countries joining NATO is aggressive towards Russia. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you've mentioned that there's a complicated.
Bro, there's more than
going on
just
with
those two
countries
options.
that have nuclear weapons. And what's our responsibility? Are you allowed to do anything you want to countries that don't have nuclear weapons? That's a really tricky discussion.
For sure.
Because what is U.S. supposed to do if Russia drops a tactical nuclear weapon?
Okay, Russia is never
set of
gonna
options.
drop that tactical bomb, man. Why do they think
but
Russia's gonna start with the bombing?
And it's such a tricky moment right now because the things that Biden and
They're both
other
propagandizing their own
public figures
viewers.
say, I feel like has a significant impact on the way this game turns out. Because I think mutually assured destruction is partially a game of words.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I believe in the power of conversation, of leaders talking to each other. I feel like you have to have a balance between threat and compromise and like empathy for the needs, the geopolitical, the economic needs of a nation, but also sort of respect and represent your own interests. So it's a tricky one. Like, how do you play the hand?
It reminds me of I don't know if you've ever heard in like evolutionary psych or evolutionary biology, there are things called tit for tat strategies. It kind of reminds me of that, where it's like if like there are a whole bunch of these little biological mechanisms where creatures will develop like socializing, like tit for tat. If you do something bad to me, I'm going to do something bad for you, and then more complicated schemes will come out where it'll be like tit for tat, where it's like you can make one mistake and then I'm going to get you if you do a second one, or it could be tit for tat, or there could be tit for tat for tat. There's like all these like back and forths where creatures kind of optimize themselves. And yeah, I think something the United States did really well in terms of that kind of conversational strategy, and I approved of this in the beginning, was Biden was very clear about setting out the exact level of U.S. involvement for
Shashank,
the war.
that's a
We're not going to
good
do a
fucking
no-fly
analogy.
zone. There's not going to be U.S. troops on the ground in Ukraine, but we are going to send a whole
The
bunch
most
of money and a
normie
whole bunch of
vanilla
arms
ice
and a whole
cream,
bunch of
for
intel to
real.
them. And I thought he did a good job at laying out like the limitations.
Bro, these
of
guys
U.S.
are
involvement while
absolutely
opening as
propagandizing
much
their
as we could
viewers.
in
It's
the ways
kind
that
of
could
crazy.
help.
Like the most
But
sanitized
that
politics
looming
takes
threat of some
ever.
sort of tactical nuclear weapon, I think on the table right now is like
Like
it's
how
gonna
they're
be the-
speaking about how Russia will be the one dropping the nuclear. If anything, the only way this nuclear will actually happen is if the Zaporozhye plant gets bombed. And the only person bombing the Zaporozhye plant is Zelensky himself, and he admitted himself. Zelensky is hitting the Zaporozhye nuclear plant with his special forces. Why? Because there are Russian agents or Russian soldiers that are hiding in that plant. He gave us his reasoning and everything. And these guys are acting like, oh, Russia's the one that might. What if Russia drops a nuclear bomb, bro? What? Bro, Russia's been trying to negotiate with Ukraine from the beginning of the war. They just wanted Donetsk and Luhansk and denazification of Ukraine and the demilitarization of NATO weaponry. That's it. That's all they were begging for. Now you're talking about nuclear weaponry being tossed out just for fun, and you're blaming Russia? Bro, NATO is literally sending Ukraine. Even Kyle Kalinske agreed, Shashank. If US would stop sending weapons to Ukraine, Ukraine would already have lost this war. I blame the US for this war. I'm blaming the US. Even Kyle Kalinske admits. And that's why AOC, we should be protesting AOC, because she actually signed and voted to send more weaponry to Ukraine. So she's the enemy. She's keeping this war going. This is how my logical conclusion works. I don't know about you guys. But to act like US has or NATO has no bearing on the outcomes of this fucking war, when they are the reason Ukraine did not negotiate in any way with Russia or Putin, and they also are the reason Ukrainians are still dying to this day as cannon fodder, and soon to be Americans who will be the cannon fodder soon. To act like that outcome has nothing to do with the US or NATO is fucking crazy to me. Like, and these guys are just gaslighting their viewers, making it look like Putin is a bad man. Just like how the Vanguard will do it, just like how Kyle Kalinske will do it.
annihilation of like Russian sea forces and everything. But you know what happens if it continues to escalate? That's like a world that nobody wants to. Nobody wants.
Bro,
to
you
be
don't
in.
care. You don't care what happens if it continues to escalate. Putin's been begging Zelensky to come and negotiate with him. The US stopped him from doing that. You don't give a fuck what happens. Stop acting like you care. This motherfucker is acting like he cares about what happens if Russia drops a nuclear bomb. He's forcing Russia's hand. I mean, it's common sense, man. If you're gonna grab me and twist my arm, I'm gonna yell and scream and shout and try to get away. And somehow Russia's the bad guy. Bro, you're encroaching on Russia's land. You're taking from them. You're the one bombing Donetsk and Luhansk region. We saw Ukraine, Zelensky fucking bombing the shit out of your Donetsk and Luhansk, just killing fuckers in the city center.
So we talked about difficult conversations, and again, thank you so much for reviewing the Yay conversation.
All right. Let's do another one. This one is about the trans athleticism. Let's see where they get. Oh man, this is gonna be the most liberalized, most brain dead interview ever.
This particular topic of trans issues, is that the reason you were banned from Twitch?
I'm not sure. I don't know. They just said hate speech, but I don't use like slurs or anything, so it's hard to know exactly.
So I think you made the claim that trans women shouldn't compete with cis women in women's athletics.
Sounds
Can you
smart.
make this case, and can you steelman the case against it? I think in your community there's a lot of trans folks who love you, and there's a lot who hate you.
Yeah.
And so if you can walk the tightrope of this conversation to try to steelman both sides.
One of the argumentative strategies I say is that like anytime you have a conversation, you should be able to argue both sides better than anybody else, you know. So for the my side, the genuine belief side, it feels like overwhelmingly all of the data is showing that mostly trans women, even after I think 3 years on some sort of like HRT or, you know, estrogen stuff, they're still maintaining these advantages from their male puberty over cisgender women. And if that is the case, if we are going to draw these distinctions around our sports between women and men, it feels unfair to have a category inside the women's sports that are maintaining advantages that are coming from a male puberty, regardless of the amount of time they've spent on hormone replacement therapy. So that would be my argument on that side.
So it's unfair from a performance enhancement aspect. So the same way we ban.
Bro, are we really having this discussion? Two smart, fucking intelligent, well-educated fuckers are really discussing if women and men are equal in strength, even after they take hormones. Bro, maybe if she took hormones for 15 years, I would believe that she has no male, like, advantages in anything. But to take hormones for 2 or 3 years and to act like that's changed the whole world, you know, that changed her fucking bone composition and shit, that's bullshit. I mean, what? Maybe if she was on hormones for 15, 20 years, I would be like, okay, maybe you're right. She sounds like a whole woman now. She doesn't. There's no way it's a guy. And I don't know how strong hormones are. I don't really know if they actually affect you that much. Maybe at some point they plateau. I don't know what they do, but I've never experienced anything like that long term. I don't think anyone even knows what hormones do long term. But to act like 2 or 3 years of HRT and I'm allowed to be competing with a woman, a cisgendered woman, let's say fighting. Man, let's say running, let's say long jumping, let's say whatever the fuck you want to say it. Bro, as long as I keep working out, I'm sure I'll keep... Man, already right now, I'm like 25 pounds of muscle over any normal man, let alone a normal woman. Let alone a normal woman. I'm talking about normal men. I'm 25 pounds muscle over them, let alone a normal woman, bro. There's no competition. I can be the most biggest loser in the earth, and I will knock the shit out of a woman. I'll jump higher than her, even on HRT. I don't care. Jump higher, especially if I'm a pro athletic teaching, like I have a pro athletic coach. Woo. I can't believe these two geniuses that have actual viewers on the internet are having a very hard time to distinguish. Can a woman on HRT? Why should a woman on HRT for 2 years not compete with a cisgendered woman? Bro, it's not enough time. Maybe if she was there for 15 years, okay, yeah, she can compete. She actually lost all her hormonal advantages from puberty as a man. But to act like, 2 and 3 years has changed the body composition, she changed the bone structure, changed her muscle gains percentages or yield of muscle gains per workout. Maybe it doesn't even change their appetite. What are we even talking about here? This is crazy, man. A man. Basically, what they're saying is a man on a little bit of drugs and hormonal changes can go and compete with a fucking woman in swimming and long jumping and fighting and every. Are you guys fucking kidding me? So I'm gonna go do a couple of drugs, say, oh, I have a hormonal imbalance now, and now I can go fucking beat up a woman. You guys are, man, and these are two smart ass dudes, and fucking this dumbass Destiny gets banned for that. Ugh, this is so stupid, dude.
Performance enhancing drugs.
What's up, Paul?
That involve
Trump
increasing
2024
your-
for sure. Man, Ron DeSantis, if he's smart, he will team up with Trump. He won't make him his enemy. If Ron DeSantis is smart, he will team up with Trump, and Trump will take care of Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis better be fucking on his A game, because Trump is gonna be the one winning. There's no way.
Testosterone in that same way would be unfair.
Essentially, yeah.
So what's the case against?
Biden wants to run. Are you sure? Can somebody send me a link? Somebody said Trump announced. I didn't see the announcement yet. Tell me.
Yeah, so the case in favor of them competing together is that
Tell me what the
realistically,
sentence
there's
is.
not going to be a trans sports category. Realistically, trans.
There's not going to be a trans sport. It's going to be... There's not enough trans athletes. But actually, if they do a trans sports, just a small area for trans, they will increase the amount of transgenders. They will actually increase the amount of transgenders. So if they want to increase the amount of transgenders in this world, they should make its own category for trans sports.
Men aren't going to be competitive with cis men because they've gone through these huge, like hormone changes by the medication they're taking. And that when we look at how sports are kind of done anyway, there's a whole bunch of biological differences between people within
look into
sports
that in a minute.
categories that are determining their placement in the professional world.
We'll look
So
at
for
Trump
instance,
announcing in a minute.
somebody like me is probably never going to go far in the NBA because I'm not tall enough. I think the average height in the NBA.
Don't doubt yourself.
Don't doubt myself. Yeah, I want to say it's like 6'6" or something. They're
6'7",
huge
bro.
people.
You want to go to the NBA, you
Or,
better be
you look
6'7".
at like Michael Phelps is a classic example of a guy whose torso is like so long, his body is built for swimming. And I think there are some trans people that will look at that, or somebody advocating for this position.
Is
that
that
will look at that and
true?
go, okay,
You just need a long
realistically,
torso for
the way
swimming.
that Michael Phelps' body
Maybe long
processes
feet, too.
lactic acid, the shape physiologically of his
Big ass
body
feet.
is going to put him in a level of competition that so many men are never going to reach just because of biology. How is it fair that you can have these biological outliers competing in these categories, but then when we come to like sports categories with trans and cis women, you're going to take trans women and say that they can't compete against cis women? Can't you also just say that they have some level of biological difference there? Like, is it really going to be that great of a difference than what Michael Phelps has versus the average swimmer, or an NBA player has versus like the average
What? But Michael Phelps is a natural gain. He didn't take hormones to make his torso longer and bigger. What?
height male?
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna get into some tricky ethical territory as we start?
Bro, we
to
already
deal with
are
the
there.
through biology?
The problem is you guys have no ethics. You have no morality. It's just whatever feels right. Yeah, let's do it. Whatever feels wrong. Let's test it anyways. You guys have no morality. If I was to sit here and ask Lex Friedman, what is your sense of morality? What is right and wrong to you? He'll tell me it's whatever gives me pleasure and takes away my pain. He won't even bring it to his Jewish heritage. He's just gonna tell me pleasure and pain. The liberal nightmare. That's a sense of morality. These guys have no morality. Don't even talk about ethics.
Genetics modify the human body.
Absolutely.
It's gonna
I feel like those things are coming sooner than we wanted them to. Oh man, dude, have you seen the AI art?
Yes.
That's a
Of course, I'm an AI person.
Oh, okay, then yeah. That's always been like, what's gonna happen when robots can do art better than humans? LOL. Like, well, we'll see in 20 years, and 20 years, and 20 years, and now you have AI art winning competitions, and it's funny because robots are.
Is this true? What is AI art? Let's look for it. Dream by Wombo. My beautiful artwork using the power of AI. Let's check it out. Oh, that's AI art? Elon Musk's store. This AI art? I mean, the colors are beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. The shading is perfect. That's pretty cool, man. Damn, we can do anything. We can do conceptual, abstract. Let me see OpenAI. Our approach to alignment research. What? Research. So basically, they just gather pictures and feed it to a robot. Damn, because the robot now can solve a Rubik's Cube. God damn it, I'm actually angry. I still can't do that. We're introducing Jukebox, a neural net that generates music, including rudimentary singing. What? Wait, is this free music?
From dusty Taney, humble scarf, but the lip hitch tells the heart. With my closeness, with my hills.
Yo, it's talking about the human body too. Rocking the style of Elvis Presley. That's cool.
At last, when he woke up with a mind. Dusty James, but you help from get the tears that picture rack. When you see tea with the colors, there's some beauty. At last, he woke up with his soul. This answer is fixed, and we know that we...
What the fuck? Damn, AI can make music? I'm scared. I'm actually scared. I'm actually fucking scared. Holy shit, bro. We don't bro, talk about the revolution. We should never need to work anymore. Are you serious? Wait, what? He got 5 ads. He got hit with 5 ads. What? Wait, how? How the fuck can you get hit with 5 ads? That's crazy. Alright, guys, we're gonna look at the Trump announcement. I'm gonna wait for Shashank. I'm gonna wait for Shashank for his ad to go. Let me know when you're back. Alright, so Shashank says DeSantis won't run right now. He's very young. He's 44 or something, I think. Trump is 80 now. DeSantis will wait for 4 years, win Florida again, then run after 4 or 5 years. What the fuck, 5? So think about this with me. DeSantis makes a good friend called Trump. Trump is going to get elected 100%. Because Trump is going to get elected for a second time, he cannot get elected anymore. He's going to need one of his friends, and he's going to push them to go get the nomination over him. If DeSantis is smart, he will let Trump win this fucking election, and Trump will give him the nomination next election. That's a good take. That's a good take, Shashank. I believe that makes sense. DeSantis doesn't run, or acts like he's running, then actually folds to Trump. Right? All right, here's the prediction from Shashank. I really believe that if fucking Ron DeSantis is smart, politically speaking, he won't go against MAGA and the Republican Party. It will fucking devastate him. It's so much better to virtue signal as if you are part of MAGA, even if you're not. Let Trump win one more time. He's never going to be able to take the nomination again. And actually, he's going to gift you the nomination because he doesn't trust anyone else in the Republican Party. So that's what I would do if I was Ron DeSantis. I would at least virtue signal like I'm on Trump's team, so I can get the nomination next. But let's look at this Trump announcing. Yeah, that makes sense, Shashank. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. I've always said this to myself. Ron DeSantis does not want to compete against Trump. He'll basically have a bad name in politics for no reason. You know, Jeb Bush disappeared. I mean, he disappeared, absolutely disappeared from politics. Anybody that went against Trump absolutely disappeared from politics. Like, they don't even exist anymore. They're not going to ever run again. And so to act like him running is going to be a good thing, DeSantis, he might actually throw his name in the gutter. So the right thing to do for DeSantis is to not run against Trump, to actually coalesce with Trump. So at least he gets a seat in one of his cabinets to get a higher status, a position, and to secure himself the nomination for next election. Absolutely, that makes total sense to me.
Again, I am tonight. In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight
Woo!
announcing
Make America MAGA, make America fucking best again. Let's go.
President of the United States.
Wow. Hell yeah. From Mar-a-Lago. Man, I need to live in Florida. Look, he's in Florida. I promise you, DeSantis will never go against him. I promise you. Exactly. Shashank, you're smart. Dude, that's an amazing announcement. Amazing. Look how people are excited. Especially the working class, man. They're so excited. Bro, who said Trump wasn't going to run? I knew he was running again. You're crazy. The only way he would have not run again was if he was in prison. That's the only way.
So many incredible friends and family here tonight. It's such a beautiful thing. Some people say, how do you speak before so many people all the time? When there's love in the room, it's really
100%
easy.
he can win. Who's his competition? Biden? Huh? Bro, Biden might not even be able to... They might not even allow Biden to debate on stage. Let's not even... Bro, Biden might have to actually step down so he can let Kamala debate on stage, because there's no way he's going to look good on stage at all.
No, the truth. Really not. You ought to try it sometime.
Bro, Biden's gonna lose. He fucked the American people with abortion. He fucked the American people with student loans. Everyone recognized that was a ploy so the midterms can get Democratic. And they still fucking lost the House. No. Don't worry, man. No one is voting Biden. I promise you that. Maybe if he gave them... maybe he might dangle the carrot of student loans closer to the election. But you're fucking stupid if you believe that shit. You're fucking dumb. And he's gonna dangle the abortion carrot as well. But these fucking US Americans, they're fucking stupid if they believe Biden will give them any of them.
Together
So I doubt Biden will fucking win. Ever. There's no way Biden will win.
be taking on
Almost as old as Biden, but 100 million times more competent than Biden. Is more loved foreignly than Biden. Russia respects Trump so much. Saudi Arabia loves Trump. I know Saudi Arabian friends said because Biden came, we reduced the production of oil. If Trump showed up, we would have increased the production of oil. Just because Trump is fucking a good ally for us. We have so many good dealings with him. MBS loves Trump. Foreignly speaking, America was in its best fucking stance when Trump was a president. We were making better deals with North Korea. Yeah, we were demonizing China, but we've always demonized China. But besides that, Russia was doing good deals with us. Germany was under our fucking feet. I'm telling you, man, we had full control of everything. Yeah, he wanted to encroach NATO as well. He wanted to fund more NATO expansions and shit. So he's not that best. Yeah, he did kill Soleimani with a bomb because he hates Iran and loves Israel. But still, I believe there's good in this motherfucker. I mean, you can kill Iranian generals, but you're Russia's best friend. So I know what you're doing. They say he's the one that okayed it. It's possible he didn't even okay it. You know, they've been lying to Trump all along. Even Russia said, yeah, I like Trump, but he has black suits all around him and they make the decisions for him. Putin said that. And that's true, man. Like, for example, he asked for Syria to be pulled out, all the Syrian troops to be, American troops in Syria to be pulled out. And his fucking own colleagues lied to him about the number of troops left. He thought there was no more troops left in Syria, and it turns out there's 5,000, 3,000 to 5,000 more U.S. troops. So even when he wants to decide something to stop the war there. Still, they lied to him. He himself hates the Ukrainian war. He would have stopped the Ukrainian war from happening. There's a reason he's getting attacked in the media, and they're fucking taking him to prison and taking him to court. They do not want him. He's anti-establishment. I promise you, he's anti-establishment.
One of the most corrupt forces, and
He's the only president that's anti-establishment since fucking JF Kennedy. Let's not even fucking joke about this shit.
entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble. This is not a task for a politician or a conventional candidate. This is a task for a great movement that embodies the courage, confidence,
communism,
and the
MAGA
spirit
communism,
of the American
MAGA
people.
communism,
This
let's
is a
go.
movement. This is not for any one individual. This is a job for tens of millions of proud people working together
MAGA
from all
communism.
across the land and from all walks of life,
Look,
young and old.
he loves the working class. Communists and fucking MAGA. These are the working class.
Black and white, Hispanic and Asian.
You know who hates Trump? Fucking Netflix executives, Twitter executives, rich white people. The janitor doesn't hate Trump. The black worker does not hate Trump. The Syrian fucker who's killing himself in a machine shop does not hate Trump. You know, who's breaking his back trying to make a couple of parts for aerospace companies. Which country are you from? Syria. And I am a machinist, and I do make aerospace parts. So I do break my back. So I don't hate fucking Trump. I like his conventional traditionalism. I like his conservatism. I hate this liberal fucking religion being forced upon my fucking throat. Now I have to see cisgendered women fuck up or get fucked up by transgendered women. Oh my god. Isn't there a war right now in Syria? I know. And Trump is the only one that tried to ever stop that war. Biden only funneled it more. Barack Obama only bombed so much in Syria that he ran out of weapons. The only person that's tried to stop the war is Trump. I'm fucking 100% with Trump. Are you okay over there? I mean, I can't go back. Not until the war is over, and I need to pay for running away from the army. But besides that, I'm okay. Yeah, I ran away from the mandatory army. Bro, you want me to go die there? I'm not gonna go die there. I'd rather be streaming over here.
Many of whom we have brought together.
You want me to just go die there in an airstrike? Where are you right now? I'm in Kansas.
For the very, very first time. If you look at the numbers, if you look at what's happened with
I
Hispanic,
had to run away from the army, bro. I didn't even open my army book because it's mandatory. I just left. You're supposed to at least open your army book so they know that you're 18 now and they can use you. But you say, oh, but I had to travel for studies or something. Then they give you like then they're like, they excuse you. I never even opened that book so I can get excused. So I'm fucked. If I go back there, I either go to prison or I have to pay like a lot of money, like $8,000, $10,000. Like it's basically I have to redo the whole procedure all over again and pay extra money. So I think it would have been $6,000 for me if I opened the book with an excuse. Now it's $8,000 or $10,000.
American with Asian.
Bro, you don't know anything about Syria, bro. I got cousins, man. I'm not gonna talk.
And just look at what's happened.
Bro, I got cousins fighting each other, bro, in the war. They make fun of each other on Facebook. Man, you don't understand. I know which cousin is in the rebel army and which cousin in the Syrian army because whoever has their picture on Facebook, they can show their pictures. Those are with the Syrian army. Those are with Bashar al-Assad. The cousins that can't show their pictures, those are against the Syrian army. And all of them are fucking each other up, man. Imagine, it's crazy.
This
Bro, I need to connect with my cousins. I can get you guys stories directly from Syria. The problem is it's going to be in Arabic, and y'all don't even read Arabic. Yeah, I'm pro Bashar 100%.
is a
Now I recognize it was the CIA that came in and acted like Bashar was bad. It was all. I mean, I promise you right now the situation is not better than how it was with Bashar al-Assad. I'll promise you that. That's all I gotta say. Bashar al-Assad is not the reason that the country's in fire. Operation Timber Sycamore by the CIA, look it up, 2012, the most expensive operation the CIA has ever demanded and funded. Sent billions of dollars of weaponry, secret weapons into the Syria. Operation Timber Sycamore. Look it up. That's what destroyed my country, not Bashar al-Assad.
Party that has become much bigger, much stronger, much more powerful, can do much more good for our country. This is a job for grandmothers and construction workers, firefighters, builders, teachers, doctors, and farmers who cannot stay quiet any longer. You can't stay quiet any longer. You're angry about what's happening to our country. Our country is being destroyed before your very eyes. It's a job for every aspiring young person and every hard-working parent.
It's not even we want to get rid of Bashar al-Assad. You have to understand, Syria is so full of resources. Every one of us could live as a king for the rest of eternity. I had acres of land upon acres of land. My dad's dad had acres upon acres upon acres. He had 10 or 11 kids, and we still had acres of land each. It's not even about there's no money in Syria or it's hard to live in Syria. It's very easy to live in Syria. The problem is they sucked up all the resources. Like, for example, right now, they're taking 80% of the Syrian oil in northern Syria, these rebels and the USA. Y'all are fucking sucking our... And we've been sanctioned by the US for about... Like Cuba, we've been sanctioned exactly like Cuba. We don't even... We have to fucking buy our syringes from China. The only person that we can buy shit from is China and Russia. We don't buy anything from any of the USA allies. We can't get anything. It's Iran, Russia, and China. That's the only three people we can buy things from. And so we became self-sufficient. The only reason Syria is poor is because we have been sanctioned to oblivion by the USA. The USA is the one destroying my country. It's not Bashar al-Assad who's destroying my country. Is Assad secular? It's a secular republic. Syria is a Syrian Arabic republic. It's a republic. It's a secular republic with a parliament and everything.
Every entrepreneur and
Bashar is not a king. He's a president in a parliament. So he has a Congress that he has to listen to.
underappreciated police officer who is ready to shout
But just like a president, he can veto any order.
out for safety in America. The police
But our political system is secular. We do not rely on any scripture for our laws.
are being treated so badly. These are great people.
And yet 90% of Syrians are Muslim. 93% are Muslim, but we are a secular republic.
People that can straighten out the crime. They're the ones that know how to do it. We have to give them back their respect and their dignity.
Is he talking about Ukraine?
This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together.
What a gangster. What a gangster. What a G.
Because the only force strong enough to defeat the massive corruption we are up against is you, the American people.
That's it. I'm voting Trump right now. I want to get rid of the fucking corruption that the American people are living in. Yes, let's vote Trump right now. What do you think of the negative image of Syrian migrants nowadays? I don't know. I thought Syrians are looked up in a really nice image. Syrians are some of the sexiest men on earth. What are you even talking about? Like, what kind of image are Syrians looked at? Like, all right, let's look at the lowest. Can you see my messages? Yeah, Paul. I'm from England. I saw you. Unless you texted me a special message. No wars under Trump. You really believe there might be no war under Trump? I mean, I bet you he's going to try to fight with China more and create more animosity with China, but it's only just to make business happen. I see your messages, Paul. All right, guys. Let's watch this and show me what do you mean the negative image of Syrian immigrants like in the U.S. There's no negative image there. Maybe the African immigrants in the Europe.
Ladies
They got a big
and gentlemen, welcome to the party zone.
welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, Paul. Thank you so much for that follow. I really respect that and appreciate that. You're the man. I know England are the best of the people. Man, English people, man, they're not scared, man. They'll stab you in the middle of the street without saying a word to you. They don't fuck around. Man, English people are the only other people that I'm more scared of than Syrians and Syrian hooligans in the streets. Bro, Syrian hooligans, you would get your ass kicked by a bunch of kids, man. I swear to God, kids would come and rock your world. Same in England. England, they're not even worried that they would fucking go to prison. They'll just murder you. Immigrants are being blamed for a lot of the crimes. Syrians, Pakistanis. I've heard about Pakistanis, Africans being blamed in Europe because it's easy to see the black skin and be like, oh, he's the reason for all our problems. But Syrians, we assimilate so easily because we're already white. We either look Mexicano, we either look like we're kind of from where you are. We're very smart. Like I barely have an accent, you know, so I developed that easily. And so we're very smart. We can assimilate very quickly. Syrians, there's nothing ever bad about them. Iranians, I barely hear anything bad about them. But yeah, the other people that are easily looked at as the like if their skin color is pronounced, if they're black, if they're really brown, like they're Indian or something, yeah, then you would see them getting blamed for everything. But that's why Ukrainian refugees don't get blamed for bad things. Why? Because they're white. Think about it. I've never seen Iranians being Iranian refugees being attacked ever. Why? Because they look white as hell. All right, guys, let's watch this. I'm gonna be cooking while we're watching, so let's do it.
Let's return to your low point.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Let me turn on. I need to turn on the music. I need to hear it. I don't know how I'm gonna figure out, man. I need to. All right, we're here. I need to figure out how to. Can you watch an edit I made? Sure.
Playing video games, that was a lucky break. You did text-based ones, that was a lucky.
Bro, I can't hear anything. Holy shit. Lex Friedman's voice is so low. Bro, I can't hear anything.
Break because you gotten to be pretty good at learning, and then you started thinking about going to college and so on. What happened next?
I mean, I went to like a prep school,
I don't
so you
even know what
kind
he's
of have to go
saying,
to college after. That's like the point, right? I was also a millennial. All of us had to go to college. That's always what they told us. So.
Give me a second, let me cook.
My life was kind of it's hard to describe. I didn't really think much of the future. I was just kind of enjoying the day to day because everything in my life was pretty weird. Both my parents had moved to Florida by the time I was 16, 17. I was living with my grandma. I was working. I had a girlfriend. Moved out. We got a place. Did college.
All right, let's restart this. I need to see. Apparently, boys, this is Destiny's worst moment ever. Hey, I'll look into that, Paul. Give me a minute. All right, so let's see, Paul. Destiny's lowest point in his life probably has to do with the girls.
Let's return to your low point.
Oh yeah.
You started playing video games, that was a lucky break. You did text-based ones, that was a lucky break because you gotten to be pretty good at learning, and then you started thinking about going to college and so on. What happened next?
I mean, I went to like a prep school, so you kind of have to go to college after. That's like the point, right? I was also a millennial. All of us had to go to college. That's always what they told us. So my life was kind of it's hard to describe. I didn't really think much of the future. I was just kind of enjoying the day to day because everything in my life was pretty weird. Both my parents had moved to Florida by the time I was 16, 17. I was living with my grandma. I was working. I had a girlfriend. Moved out. We got a place. Did college. By the time I got into college, I had transitioned from working at McDonald's to I was like working in a casino restaurant basically, and I was really good at that job. So high level of patience for drunk people, insane people, and I was doing music in school because I've really grown to love music.
And we listened to this dumbass.
My kind of thought process was I can do music as a hobby, I guess, unless I get really good and maybe I can make money with that. But otherwise, I love music. I'm okay going to school for music, getting good at it, and then just doing that on the side. And then my main job would kind of be this career I was building at the casino. And basically, trying to balance personal life plus graveyard shift, 6-hour weeks at a casino, and then a full-time music degree was not possible for me. And eventually, I had to drop school after I think it was like 3 years. And after I dropped school to maintain my casino job, after a few months, I got fired from my casino job. So I've
Motherfucker
essentially
quit
just thrown
school
away
for a
like the
fucking
past like
casino
3 or 4
job?
years of my life.
Why'd you get?
Bro, this guy's lowest life on is a regular day in any American's life. Holy shit. This guy's lowest point is a regular day in an American's life. I swear to God, we gotta work our asses off 10 hours a day. You work so much you can't even go to school anymore. Or do anything on the side. You come home, you're tired. I swear his lowest point is just a regular day in an American's life.
Fired from the casino job. I heard there's a story behind that.
Yeah, there's a story. Basically, I was just really dumb when it came to understanding corporate politics. And this is funny because the same attitude kind of followed me into the streaming world. My thought process has kind of always been that, like, as long as I'm really good at what I do, I should be untouchable. If I'm really good, you can't do anything to me. I don't have to play any dumb games or whatever. And at the casino, I think I was the youngest. It was originally shift lead, then supervisor position at the casino. And when I started to get my own shifts, there were problems that I would run into on graveyard shift because of carryover from the swing shift. Remember, one of these problems was underneath the soda machine. They weren't cleaning it properly, and fruit flies were showing up. And the manager came in one morning, and she was like, "Hey, what's going on with the machine?" And I told her, like, "Listen, I can't take everything from swing shift and do everything at grave shift. I can't do this. They need to figure out their stuff better, or I need more employees. It's not possible for me." And she's like, "Well, did you tell anybody else?" Like, "Yeah, I complained to the supervisor on the swing shift all the time." And she told me, "If you're not getting the answer that you like, then it's your responsibility to email the next person up." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." And some months went on, and I ran into more problems because on graveyard, here's how, I don't know if it's everywhere, but morning shift is the easiest, and that's when you're the most overstaffed because that's when all the VPs are in, and that's when all the managers are there, and everything, blah, blah, blah. Swing shift is the most challenging. That's where your highest flow of customers is.
What's up,
You're also decently staffed there, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
Almost like
and
libs
graveyard,
have never
nobody
really
cares
suffered.
at all about you. They don't give.
Bro, I swear to God, this guy's worst day of his life is just another day in the market. These motherfuckers, everybody comes to watch me when I'm leaving. Are you guys fucking serious? I got 6 fucking viewers now. I'm so angry at you fuckers. Every day this happens to me. Every day. Wait. Every day this happens to me. Y'all fucking assholes. Y'all watch me when I'm walking out. I'm so mad I have to work at 5. Why the fuck do I have to work at 5, man? I want to be streaming right now. This is the only time I get viewers. Yesterday we did a 6.5 hour stream. The whole time. I know, I'm so mad, Cass. I swear I'm so mad. But I know what I'm gonna do. From now on, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stream on the days off after, like around 6, around 5. Bro, Paul, man, I'm actually scared of opening your drive.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Shane, what's up, boss?
welcome to the party zone.
Welcome to the party. Let's keep listening to this liber. Bro, I'm scared of opening that, Paul. What the hell, man? Why do I have to download your drive? I don't get it.
You got any
Just to watch
employees?
it edit?
You might
Just
get
post it on
swamped, you
YouTube.
might not. Who cares? Make sure it's clean for day shift. That's the only thing that matters.
A quick question
Yeah.
first, sort of clarification. So this is a 24-hour.
24-hour diner, yeah, inside the casino, yeah.
So it's a dine in a casino. Oh, by the way, I had an amazing moment at a dine in a casino recently. It's a special place.
Bro, it's
a dine in a
fucking
casino
Lexa
is a place
troll.
of magic.
I swear to God,
That's
Lex
a lot of-
trolling
I
Destiny.
don't know if I'd say magic, but there's a lot of otherworldly stuff going on.
There's
for sure.
characters. There's and I had an interaction with a waitress that was the sweetest waitress in the world, and it was just like, I don't know, it made me feel less alone in this cruel world of ours.
Yeah.
So graveyard begins when?
Oh shit! Did Lex Friedman just hit on Destiny's girl? Was he fucking around with Destiny? He said the hottest Swedish girl I've ever met. Oh shit! He's talking about Melina, no? I see you, the Lex smart.
For me, my shift was 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Or sometimes I got called in early, so it'd be 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. or whatever.
That's no love for that shift.
No, especially not trying to do school at the same time. Absolutely not. But yeah, basically, long story short, I ran into a problem with where I didn't have enough employees on my shift. VPs were coming in the morning. They're saying, like, hey, the diner's kind of dirty. And I'm like, you've cut all my employees past 4 a.m. Like, on some nights, I'm literally cooking and doing front of house, like, all on my own. Like, I can't do this. And my manager, Pam, told me, well, you got to figure it out.
No, I
and
can't
so
hear again.
I remembered her advice. So I emailed the VP of Food and Beverage, and I CC'd her. And I said, I'm not getting the help I need in my restaurant. Now, I didn't know at the time that I was basically completely throwing her under the bus because of that email. But I retroactively, when I look back on things, or retrospectively I
That's his
see
worst
that was the
point in his
moment that I got
life.
like marked for
And he
deletion.
got fired from a
And
job.
I didn't really understand it, even though I'd heard terminology for papering somebody out the door. But after that point, I started to get written up for like a lot of little random things. Like I'll come, like I'd missed 1 day of work in my 3 years at the casino, and I started to get written up for like showing up like 1 or 2 minutes late. Like, that's kind of weird. That's whatever. Or written up for random ways about filing paperwork. And then eventually there came a situation with another employee where they were. It's complicated. It has to do with like call out stuff. But basically, they wanted to call out, and I told them if they called out, they were going to get fired because they were at like 10 points. They were at 9 points, and 10 points is firing. Blah blah blah. Pam told me you can tell her that she's going to get a point, but you can't tell her she's going to get fired. I don't know what that meant. And then I told her that if you call out, you're going to get, you're fucked. You're going to get fired, or you're going to be at 10 points. And then I got called in early, like 3 days later, and Pam was like, you inappropriately communicated with an employee because you said the F word in a text message. And I'm like, really? There's no shot. And she's like, well, you also tried to fire the employee. And I was like, no, I told her she was going to get 10 points. She's like, well, you used the F word. I'm like, this is insane. And I didn't, just because I was such a high performing employee. I was like, there's no way I'm getting fired. And then I did. And I was like, yeah.
So his lowest point in his life, he was trying to fire an employee. He felt a little bit some type of way. He felt like he's king on earth, so he belittled that employee. Tell him, if you don't fucking come here, you're gonna get fired. So he gets his ass fired. That's his lowest point in his life. Wow. What a dumbass.
Cashed out my 401k and moped for like 3 months because I had thrown away school for this casino job. And then I got fired from this job that like, yeah, nobody believed I got fired. It was just insane. Yeah.
So if you look back, if you were allowed to not just to look back to your own memory, but actually watch yourself, like somebody recorded a video that whole time, do you think you would be surprised? You would notice some things like potentially of not having a self-awareness, not having like social, like a civility and social etiquette that's played in the human relations.
Clear he
Yeah,
doesn't have
absolutely.
social etiquette. He doesn't give a fuck
So
about
is that at the core of it essentially?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it follows me even to this day. There's a lot of,
Thank you, Lex.
I don't know if you're recording or not, but when we spoke earlier about like meta conversations, I have to think a lot sometimes about meta conversations because the way that I want to drive a conversation will sometimes be way different than what is like the best way to have a conversation. Whereas I just want to like go really hard on like some itty bitty, like some idiosyncrasy, some factor figure, whatever. But that's not like the human conversation I need to have, Yeah.
So you got fired / left that job, and that took you to the job that would be the lowest point.
Yeah. Because there was a huge downgrade in pay. I went from getting like, I think at the casino, because I worked so much overtime, I was getting like $22.50 an hour on all my overtime. And this was back in 2008, 2009, as like a college student. Like, it was amazing pay. I had benefits, like everything was good. And then the carpet cleaning was like, I was probably getting my paycheck like every other week was maybe $1,500 or $1,000. And I'm working like 13-day stretches. Like I have every other Sunday off. And it's so many hours. Like I have to show up at the shop at like 7 or 6, and then I go home at like 8 or 9, depending on when my jobs are throughout the day.
You doing businesses or residential?
So he recognizes there are no protections for workers in the U.S. Still, he loves the United States so much.
Or what are you doing?
Everything.
Everything. Are you working for a company that does carpet cleaning, or are you? Okay, and so like there's a scheduled thing you have to go to it and so on.
Yeah, but so like this is why the schedule would suck. Is sometimes I'd show up at, I think we had to be in the shop at, I think it was 7 a.m. We show up at the shop at 7 a.m. First job might be at 8 or 9, but that job might be like a 1-hour job. So I might show up at 7 a.m. and have a job from 8:30 to 9:30. Then my next job might not be until like say 11. So from 8:30 to 9:30, I'll do one job. And then I've got a job from like 11 to 12 or something. Then I might have like a decent job from like 5 to 8. But like my whole day is destroyed. And I'm doing like 3 smallish jobs. So I'm getting like $30 maybe for being in the shop or, at my job for like 10 or 11 hours. And it's just like horrible.
So you're somebody that seems to be extremely good at thinking and conversation, and so have a bit of an ego, perhaps, in both the negative and the positive sense of that word. Was there some aspect of working at McDonald's and then working at the casino and then working for as a carpet cleaner that was humbling?
No, never. I had
the ego burned bright through it all. Or no, you can push back on the ego.
Yeah, no, I understand. I totally get what you mean. I had a really close friend growing up whose name was Chris, and I think we probably met when we were like 4 or 5, I think. He lived behind me. And I grew up with him, and I'd always been kind of an outsider to the world that I was in once I got to high school for sure, because all of those kids were incredibly wealthy, you know, Corvettes and Mustangs when they turned 16. It was a prep school, and I was doing they had like a work-study program there where you could stay after school from 2:30 to 5 every day to kind of like work to pay for your tuition. So I've been working like throughout all of high school. I got another job at McDonald's when I
Bro, why the fuck does Lex Friedman start a show and he's still asleep? I don't get it.
was 18, worked at the casino. Like I'd always been doing that kind of work. I never really viewed it as like beneath me or anything. It's not like I don't have like a family of doctors or lawyers or anything. And then me and my other friend, Chris guy, we'd always make fun of everybody else for being kind of like, you know, like preppy kids and everything.
So there's some pride to that sort of hard work.
Yeah, I guess a little bit, yeah. Because, yeah, looking especially at my dad, like the solution to every problem was to just throw more hours of work at it, basically. So that was always my, go-to. And
So
I never, yeah.
What was psychologically the low point?
I think psychologically the low point was that as I'm doing this carpet cleaning job, driving around my city, there's like this feeling
I
of,
need more emotes.
I guess for a lot of people it's probably college, but there's a feeling when you're in high school that everything is like so exciting and the whole world is kind of in front of you, and there are a trillion different branching paths of possibilities. And you know, even through high school you're thinking like, am I going to be a doctor or a lawyer, or can I join the NBA, or can I do this or that? There's all these things in front of you. And when I especially felt it when I was doing these carpet cleaning jobs, and I think it was in the fall, I'd be outside some of these houses and I just kind of look around and I'd recognize a lot of these neighborhoods that I'd drive around with friends in, or I'd, you know, be walking through. I ran cross country. Some of them I'd be running through these neighborhoods. And it was just kind of like this feeling of looking around. And it was like, when I was here in the past, this was like kind of like a transitionary phase of my life where I'm doing this and it's so fun and exciting. And then I'm going to move on to something else and it's going to be fun and exciting and awesome. And then like, you know, 2 years later, my whole life has collapsed. Like I'm in a house that I can't afford anymore. My ex that I hate is pregnant with my kid, and I have no money. I've got no upward mobility. I failed college. My job is horrible. Like just every single like this is like all of those. The wave function had collapsed into one thing, and that one thing was the worst thing that it could have possibly been at the time for me. Yeah, like everything was gone and horrible. So yeah, that was the feeling I had at the time.
Why is fucking Destiny hanging out with an ex he hates, and she's living in his home, and she gave him birth? They can't get girls. Girls don't even text them back. They don't even look at them. Look at what Kyle Kalinske had to do. He had to fucking marry a 40-year-old woman. These men, they don't know. They've become so pussified. They wear dresses. They think you shouldn't be treating a woman you shouldn't be controlling women or some dumb shit. So they fucking just spend time with people they hate. They hate these girls, and they can't. They have to spend time with them because no other girl will give them the time of day. That's why Destiny's the girl he hates gives birth to his fucking kid.
You ever contemplate suicide?
God damn it, man! Let me see this drive. Man, I'm not gonna download the edit, bro. Paul, I am not going to download nothing. You want me to see something? Upload it to YouTube. I'm not.
Thought about thinking about it, but I've just never been that kind of person. So,
I mean, basically as a way to escape from the hardship.
Something that I'm so incredibly lucky. I don't know why or how. I'm just going to chalk it up to biology. I've always had really high mental baseline. I've like depression and all of that. There have been a few short stints I've dealt with it past 30 because I did a lot of drugs. But other than that, my mental baseline is just so high. And even in the carpet cleaning days, like if you, man, the videos might still be there. I think on my old YouTube channel where I'll be like playing StarCraft when I first started getting into streaming, and I'll be calling up customers like, this is Steve from Guaranteed Clean. We had to move your job back 1 hour. Is it okay if I show up instead of 2:30? And then I hang up. It's like, all right, guys, we got 3 more games, and it's like, let's go, like stuff like that. So my baseline has always been like really high for mental functioning.
So even in the low point,
Like me, I gotta be at work in literally 20 minutes, but who gives a fuck? I'm here, I'm still streaming, I'm cooking my food while I'm streaming. My mental strength is much fucking bigger than his. I don't even call in, I just schedule my whole day around my job.
you had strength. Is there anything you can give by way of advice from people for whom the wave function collapses?
Is much bigger than Destiny's, bro. Holy shit, I didn't know that. I didn't know I have a big ass brain.
As it does for many of us. Like, holy fuck, the world is not full of opportunity, and you're kind of a failure. And, like I've been there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's rough because like I usually ask for compassion from people that have it better off, because like once you're down there, like the only reason I say I got lucky, but it wasn't even really lucky. Or it was lucky, but it was more lucky. It wasn't just lucky that I got into streaming. It was lucky that I was into computers at an early age. It was lucky that I played video games at an early age. It was lucky that all the tech came up at exactly that right point in time. Like I was a pretty smart guy, but it was definitely preparation meets opportunity, and that opportunity was like at the exact precise moment of my life. If anything had gone differently, then I would just be cleaning carpets today. So
in the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics,
this is like one out of like
there's many Stevens that are just still carpet cleaning and are full of pain and resentment.
Yeah. The one piece of advice that I give, and I hate that I have to push back against all these crypto bros and everybody online, for decently intelligent people that are successful, I've never heard anybody give a contradiction to this. Maybe you will. You can tell me if you disagree. I always look at kids in high school and I'm like, just try a little bit harder. Like 30 minutes a night. If you don't study, just do 30 minutes, just do a little bit more. You are laying the foundation for the rest of your life, and you can't appreciate it in high school and college. But oh my God, when you get out, everything in your life.
See, this I agree with Destiny. The male advantage, you'll get to your peak as long as you have the foundations. By 36-year-olds, that's your peak. The way he said it, he was genetically alpha for playing video games on the phone is pathetic. No, he's telling you he's alpha because he can call in for work and schedule to play more games.
It's so much easier. You have probably more responsibility over the direction of your life when you're like 13, 14 years old than you ever will once you're like 25 and older, because this is like when you're determining the foundations that everything's going to be built on.
But yeah, 100%. So first of all, it does seem that the liberating aspect of being young is like anything you learn. So working hard at learning something will pay off in like non-linear ways, like you said with video games.
Yeah.
I feel like people who are like, I hate school. All right, well, fine, but find something where you're challenging yourself, you're growing, you're learning a skill, you're learning about a thing. Of course, you could push back and say, well, there's some trajectories that might not be productive. Like if you spend the entirety of your teen years playing, I don't know, League of Legends, your game you have love and hate relationship with.
No, just a hate and hate relationship.
Okay, well, we'll talk about. I think you have a love-hate relationship with hate in general. We'll just talk and love.
Okay.
We'll try to decomplexify that one. I think in general, just investing yourself fully with passion, it really does pay off. But that said, also school, I feel like doesn't get enough credit, like high school in particular, middle school and high school, because it's general education. I think if you're, especially if you're lucky to have good teachers, but honestly, I haven't. Mostly, the textbooks themselves were good teachers. It's a one chance in life you have to really explore a subject. Fuck grades. Like getting good grades is at tension, I would say, with actual learning. That is true, but just get a biology textbook and to explore ideas in biology and allowing yourself to be inspired by the beauty of it.
Look, I love all of you. OG Snow Bunny, we're going to be back here. I don't know, this Friday I'm going to stream the same time, but Saturday I'll try to stream a little later so we can have more viewers. But besides that, I need to get out of here, boys. Yalla, I'll see you. Peace. Man, I love you all. You guys just take